Hello everyone and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today I'm in the New Mexico, a Tier 6 US battleship. I'm on the map Land of Fire in a 3-point domination game mode. And it's kind of a Tier 6 battle. There is one Tier 7 ship in my team, no Tier 7 ship, enemy team, and just screw the matchmaker anyway. Let's talk about this nice little ship. This is, I think, my first game in the New Mexico. I have used a bit of free experience to get a few modules. Mostly because I'm not that big of a fan of US battleships anyway, and especially the range just hurts. But the New Mexico is not that fast, and the range is, I think, 14.9 kilometers or something, and that's just not a combination that I like. But the New Mexico is a great brawler. The armor so far seems really good, and Mexico has some very powerful guns. So all you have to do is get close enough to the enemy, I guess. Now, when we take a look at the map here, I decided to go for point A. Basically, point C, I think, is very good for destroyers with cruiser support. It's a very small point, and in order to try to cap it, you probably need good stealth and maybe some smoke. And if you spot enemy destroyers coming for you, you want a cruiser backup to kill those destroyers. I think as a battleship, you probably can't do too much. I mean, you could go cruiser hunting around here, but I rather prefer to go for A usually. B is just too exposed. I mean, pretty much everyone, no matter where they go, they can shoot in the middle. They have long range. So even though I was very far away from A, I decided to go there. And I decided to take a direct road because my ship is really slow and doesn't have a lot of range. If I'd choose to go like here in the south, I mean, I would never arrive there in time. So this Königsberg just got devastated from the other New Mexico. And, well, I didn't do so much. I've also used my range plane, which might have been a little premature, but see how it goes. There comes another salvo towards the... and there he goes. So good shots from this New Mexico. Now we are capturing B, and well, there still seems to be a battle at the point C. Also, I think it's looking rather decent at point A. I mean, we have our battleships coming here, we have cruisers in the front who are at the moment contesting the point. We are lacking a destroyer here in order to get some good scouting information. But we had destroyers at C, which is usually good, and we had one taking B, so I'm not complaining about the performance. Now let's see if I can get a few good hits at this Nürnberg. And no, I can't. So I think he slowed down, but it's also that my aiming just wasn't that great. I could now argue that this is my first battle in New Mexico and I still have to get used to the shell speed and stuff, but the truth is that I'm just not that good at aiming. Anyway, just lost the cruiser there, I think. And the enemy has finally gotten control over C, it seems. I think they are still capping, but we don't have anyone here to really contest them. And there is a Cleveland. I'm holding my shots because he is turning. And I think he will turn around and then go home. So I'm trying to anticipate where he will be in order to hit him in the broadside, and well, it was worth a try. Right. So far my shots haven't been all that great. Now the New Mexico was coming with me, decided to take a little bit of a safer road. Not exactly sure why we aren't under heavy fire here. And as more or less the top tier battleships, and good armored battleships, don't really see a reason not to push here. So let's see, can I get some good hits at the Cleveland? Yes, I can. Now this is what I'm talking. This is one of the reasons we all play battleships, right? Some nice juicy citadel hits. I mean, unfortunately he survived, but I think we can correct that. He's almost out of range, but only almost. So yes, there we go.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
Now I'm somewhat presenting my broadside to this Fuso, which is a bit foolish. But so far he hasn't shown any interest in me, and he's probably far more interested in shooting a cruiser anyway. But now I'm turning my ship again, because I want my side angled against this guy. And he is sliding down the zone wall, which you don't see that often these days, because it slows you down so much. I'm not exactly sure what this guy's plan is. Maybe he's given up. He really should have not driven into the sun in the first place. He should have like turned around, tried angling his ship, and I mean, he does have a lot of range, unless he's... Oh, he's not using the... With the A hull, the Fuso has, I think, only about 14 something kilometers range, but if you upgrade the hull, it goes to almost 20, and then if you get the range upgrade, it goes to something like 21. So the Fuso isn't that well armored, but she does have a lot of range. So if you're in a Fuso, you don't want to be in a brawl with a New Mexico.
Torpedoes, direct front.
And look at that, there are some torpedoes incoming. So they have a destroyer who for some reason has chosen to stay back. Now, I've been here in the front for quite some time, and those are the first torpedoes that went after me, so he probably was somewhere else on the map and just recently arrived. I should be careful. Now I think this Fuso has already given up on life. He's not even trying anymore now. I am. And he isn't shooting me, his guns aren't turned my direction, so I don't care anymore. I'm angling for this other Fuso, who is probably a far greater threat. And yeah. Yeah, he goes. And I didn't even get damaged. And now comes the true reason for playing battleships. Because we can have cool duels with other battleships, and yeah, he is just showing his broadside, and I once again demonstrate that I'm not so good at aiming. Also, I should watch for torpedoes and not for my shells, I guess. It's really cool to spectate your shells, but yeah, stop seeing. And once again, at least I did angle my ship pretty good. Now I got hit by torpedoes, which was pretty bad. But I did angle my hull quite well against the enemy Fuso. And there are torpedo bombers incoming, which is annoying. Now I'm doing a great job of avoiding the shells of the Fuso. I'm not doing such a great job avoiding torpedoes in general. And here's a problem. If I want to turn into those torpedo bombers, I'm presenting my broadside to this Fuso, which will hurt. But at least I can avoid some torpedoes. He dropped too close to me, so the torpedo wasn't armed yet when he hit my ship, which is good for me. And also we get a glimpse at the destroyer who has done the most damage to me so far in this battle. Now there is still a second torpedo bomber scroll. I don't know what happened to this guy. Anyway, let's focus back to the Fuso. And, you know, I really should have hit this guy. Which means I really should have aimed better. At this close range, there is really no excuse for my bad aiming, other than me being bad. But hey, I'm turning back into him. I'm angling my ship once more. And let's hope that we can get some juicy hits. Maybe I could have waited and see if he turns, but got some decent hits here. And well, he incapacitated one of my turrets, but didn't do that much damage. So I'm keeping my ship angled. I'm reloading my guns. He's showing me full broadside by now, probably because he just wants to point all his guns at me. And my secondary set him on fire, which is good. Oh, I'm waiting, I'm holding my shots. He is turning, which is rather foolish because I haven't shot yet. And I completely donked my shots. But I'm still pretty decently angled. And, well, he isn't. And there we go. So yes, my aiming needs improvement, but at least my angling worked, right? And I think this little duel pretty much showed how great the armor on the New Mexico is. So yeah, I think it might be the first US battleship that I actually like. And yes, I'm just completely driving into those torpedoes. I survived. I can almost repair. It's great that the destroyer didn't realize he has guns. Because if he had shot me like once, why not? So he clearly wasn't paying any attention to my health. And there is the destroyer. Now they have almost no ships left. We have someone going for the carrier, so the carrier should die momentarily. They pretty much have only destroyers left. We only control point A, but we are really far ahead. So I'm not really worried about losing at this point. I was in secondary range, but he again disappeared into the smoke. I turn away, which is good, but I really should reduce my speed here to throw his aim further off. It's a high chance that torpedoes are already in the water, and yes, I just should have slowed down as well, and I could have avoided those. With a little bit better maneuvering, I also could have avoided this torpedo hit, I guess, and there I just explode and demonstrate how not to avoid a torpedo hit. So anyway, it was not the most exciting battle you've ever seen probably, but I really liked the battleship duel in the end. And I really like the armor in the New Mexico. So that's it for this game. Now let's take a look at the results. So I think I did quite alright. Well played to the other New Mexico, who secured some very good hits early on. And probably also later. I think he got quite a few devastating strikes. General, I think my team did pretty well. We secured an early lead at a point B, and well, we just had a massive force at point A, and we used that to drive into the cap and just take it. So I think I'll like the New Mexico. Maybe I have finally found a US battleship that I enjoy playing. I'm still not a fan of the low range, especially combined with the speed, but the armor is just, yeah, well, I have to play more games, but so far the armor just seems to be amazing. So I hope you enjoyed watching this game, and I see you guys next time.